Hi, my name is Daryl Shockey. I'm the CEO of Choice Applications, and I'm going to show you what it's like to get started with Choice Fleet Management and how to carry out a few basic tasks within the program. Here we have the initial login screen. After logging in for the first time, this is what you will see. This message box is a Getting Started tip. These messages will appear at various times when you're first starting with the program. Each message appears one time and one time only. After clicking on OK, that particular message will never appear again. Now, in this demonstration, to keep things moving, I'm going to click OK on these messages before you've likely had time to read them. However, I'll be explaining everything that the tips describe, and you can later take the time to read these tips when you start using the program yourself. This is the main form that lists all of the vehicles and equipment in your fleet. Since this is our first time using the program, there is nothing listed here. So the first thing I'm going to do is add a new vehicle to keep track of. The vehicle that I'm going to add is a 2007 Ford F-150 that is referred to as Mobile One. I start by clicking on New Fleet Item in the bottom left corner. The first thing I have to select is whether I'm adding a new vehicle or piece of equipment. Next, I select what type or category of vehicle I'm adding. When I click on this pull-down, another Getting Started tip will appear. This tip is pointing out the fact that pull-down lists have red links under them that let you edit and add to the lists. Almost all of the lists can and should be modified to match your needs. For example, here are the initial vehicle categories. There's a good chance your fleet has vehicles that don't fit any of these entries, so you can just click here to add a new category. The name of the vehicle can be whatever you want. You can use formal names and numbers or informal references. This truck is going to be called Mobile One. As I move along here, you might notice that some of the labels have bold lettering and others don't. The bold labels are required fields. The others are optional. This home location field can be used to denote physical locations or logical groupings. For example, a municipality using this program might need to track fire, police, and public works vehicles. They can use a home location for each of those groupings. Or, if your company has multiple plants or operations, you could use this to denote which vehicles belong to which place. For this example, I'm just going to use Main Office. Next, I have to supply the purchase information. Oftentimes, this information is not readily available, and that's okay. If you don't have the information, all you have to do is provide a purchase date of January 1st of the model year. So here we'll use January 1st, 2007. For the odometer reading, use 0. When I first click here, a Getting Started tip will appear describing this concept. I then click on Save, and that's all there is to adding a new vehicle. The next thing I'm going to do is add a record of an oil change for this vehicle. To do that, I first make sure that the vehicle is selected. It is, and then click on Log Maintenance or Repair. This brings up a panel showing the date and reading of when something was last done to the vehicle. For this oil change, the odometer was 28467. As soon as I click on End Reading, the start value automatically carries over. Having a start and end reading lets the program track what the odometer was when work was started and after it was over. However, these two numbers are usually the same. That's why the start reading copies itself, so that you're not constantly entering the same thing twice. Here I'll select Oil Change. Then I select the work location. If your company has multiple shops, you can use this to specify which shop the work was done at. You can also use it for outside locations, like a repair done at a dealership. I have to define at least one location for this list. I'm just going to call it Main Shop. The work was done on August 15th. This automatically carries over to the end date. I'm also going to add a record for the oil filter that was used. This triggers a Getting Started tip about using the Parts and Services catalog. The Parts and Services Catalog is a topic that I'll cover in more detail in a separate video. For now, I'm just going to click on OK. There are a few parts categories to get you started, but you'll probably add to this list significantly as you make use of the program. This filter was a Fram Extended Guard XG2 that I purchased at Napa for $8.99. I then click on Save and Close. That's all there is to logging an oil change or any maintenance activity. The last thing I'm going to demonstrate is how to configure the intervals for routine maintenance. These intervals tell the program how often things like oil changes and inspections are to be done, so that it can alert you about when the work is due. Here the program is pointing out that an inspection is past due on the vehicle I added. To get there, just go to the menus at the top and select Company Information, Edit Lists, Maintenance Categories. This brings up a form for editing the available work categories. From here you can delete categories, add new ones, and make any needed modifications. You could literally delete every single work category and define your own list from scratch. You'll want to take some time to modify this list to match your operation. To edit a category, click on it, then click on Edit Selected Category. You can see the details for the category along with its intervals. You can define a separate interval for each category of vehicle or equipment. For example, as you can see, the oil change intervals are different for pickup trucks and cars. To modify an interval, just double-click and then type the new value. You can also clear out a value if you don't want any interval. Taking a look at state inspection, you'll notice that there are interval settings for days, but not for miles or hours. An inspection needs to be done every so often, regardless of how many miles or hours accrue. In some states, certain vehicles need to be inspected every 6 months instead of annually. You can easily modify the interval for these vehicle types. That concludes this demonstration on getting started. I hope this helps you better understand Choice Fleet Management. If you have any questions, we'd love the opportunity to address them. You can call our office at 724-287-4200. You can also submit an inquiry online at www.choiceapplications.com. Thank you very much for your time. Have a great day.